Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our second session of frequent questions and answers. If you've seen any of our videos before, these are frequent questions that we've received from students and that we want to put in a friendly format that is not an email. So we are going to be aiming to do this a regular session, and if we can, to invite some members of university staff to them. So keep following us on social media, keep forwarding us questions and emails with your issues, and we will try to do our best. First of all, we wanted to thank you all for contacting us. We know and we want to recognize that you are relying on us and you are sharing your experiences and thoughts in a very intimate way under the circumstances. We are trying to continue working the best way possible to represent you, and we thank you for appreciating and relying on us to raise your concerns. So these questions that we are going to be answering today are not all of the ones that we've received, but just the ones that we're repeating the most. So I hope you can enjoy this video and that it's not very tedious.
So before we get into the questions, we just have some things that we wanted to raise to you all. So there is a self-isolation form on the COVID-19 website. It's really important that you fill this out if you're currently self-isolating. It especially helps when you're living on campus because it allows the university to put safeguarding measures in place for members of staff of residential halls, such as cleaners and receptionists, so that we can help to protect them as well as you all. The other thing is the location survey that's on eVision. You've probably been getting a lot of emails about this as well. It's really important that you fill it out so that we know where everyone is and so that the university can help support you all as well. So now we've got those over, I'm going to hand back over to Clara to ask Perna some questions.
Okay, let's get to the cake. One of the main issues that you've been asking for is what is happening with accommodation. What information is out there? What is happening with private accommodation and what is happening with university accommodation? Porno, do you have something?
Oh, yeah. So let me sum up what has been happening on that area. First, for the students who are living on campus accommodation, the university has released those students who has vacated their on-campus accommodation from their contract, so they are not liable to pay for the new term we have just started. And following that, the university, in collaboration with the student unions, decided that we will ask the private rented accommodation providers to do the same. Following many heated discussions with those providers, I am happy to say that Vita, Student Castle, Student Roost, and IQ follow the same lead. So, yay. But there is a substantial amount of students living in private rented flats. So I'd like to give you a little update on that as well. I don't know how you are familiar with the government advice for agencies and landlords, but basically in lay terms, the government is asking those bodies to be gentle on their tenants and not to, put extra pressure on their tenants because they have been adversely affected by COVID-19. Many people are having financial difficulties, and the government is trying to make the landlords acknowledge that and work in collaboration with their tenants in terms of whether they would be doing rent payments in different installment patterns, or maybe work on a reduced rent or something like that. So there is lots of guidance about this. If you would like to have a look, you can look at from the government website. So for private landlords, this is locally, the university works with the City of York Council, and they are asking landlords to follow the government advice and not to put extra pressure on their student tenants. And for this, USA and GSA co-signed a letter addressed to landlords and HMO providers, kind of clarifying the difficulties students are having financially, explaining that most of them are usually taking part-time work to kind of help with the expenses, but they are unable to do so in these circumstances. And hopefully with Vice Chancellor Charles Jeffrey's signature as well, it will be sent to landlords. So there is also, there are also organizations and trade unions working for tenants' rights, such as ACON and London Renters Union, which you can look for regular updates and useful guidelines and information. For example, if you would like to have more information about how to communicate with your landlord, they provide guidelines as to how to do that.
Okay, thank you, Portner. So next question is also a big one, and it's one of the most frequent ones. What is happening with financial support? We know most of our students are struggling financially. Some of them are losing their jobs. So what kind of financial support are they available to have?
Mm-hmm. So we are, as student unions and the university, is aware of the fact that COVID-19 put many of the student body in financial difficulty. And GSA works with USU and the university to provide as much as financial support as possible. So I would like to highlight a few of them. One of them is the Emergency Support Fund. Following the pandemic, the university has diverted a substantial amount to this fund. It's created for C-19 relevant purposes in order to relieve some of the financial difficulties students are facing due to the pandemic. And in the first round of applications, there has been 800 applications so far. The second round of it is open for applications now. So if you are feeling that you are in financial difficulty, please apply. And we are hoping that there will be a third round as well. So the university and the unions are currently looking into ways how we can put more money into this fund and other relevant funds like Student Hardship Fund. So this is not a new fund. It has been in place for I don't know how many years. So if you are having a difficulty in terms of your finances, like you had an expense in terms of plumbing, you didn't have money for that, you can apply for this fund. It has been in place for ages now. And so we are working with the university to make it more accessible, because usually it is kind of difficult in terms of its application process. So you need to provide like evidencing, it's bureaucratic work, kind of arduous. So we are working with the university in order to make it more accessible and more, easy to access, so that it can help students there and then. Yeah, I guess these are the things, some of the things that I have been up to. I hope you find it helpful, and if there is anything you would like me to address in the meetings I am joining, please let me know. Let's move to Jane and see what she has been up to in terms of academic stuff. So Jane, could you please tell me a little bit more about what's going on with the safety net for master's students?
Yes, okay, so this is a really big issue at the moment. I know a lot of you have been contacting me about this, and it's something that I'm aware that you're all quite upset about, and that there is a lot of feelings of discontent among master's students at the moment. So basically what's been happening is that the university has decided that they won't be applying a safety net to taught master's students programs. So there is a safety net that's being applied to undergraduate student programs, and the same won't be happening for master's students. So The university released a video last week, I believe it was, basically detailing why this is. The reasons are basically because of the differing structures of master's degrees, which are very, very varied across the university. A lot of students don't currently have marks from which they can create a safety net. So I'm aware that having loads of different structures of master's degrees is great. It provides loads of flexibility. It makes our master's degrees unique. But this is one of the really big flaws of it. It's really frustrating because a safety net would be a great way to support students. Unfortunately, it does look like it's not going to be happening. I don't want to sit here and promise you all that it will be happening. So I'm going to leave it at that for now and say that we are still working and we are still trying to push it through, but we're aware that it might not happen.
Thank you, Jane. So if there is not going to be a safety net, what support are master's students going to get?
Okay. So with the emails that you've all been receiving, there have been a lot of references to other support that you'll be being offered for your dissertations and for the taught portions of your programs, but it's been very vague about what the actual support is. So I don't have any more concrete answers at the moment on what that support specifically will be, primarily because the university is still working it out. There is lots of support that's already in place from different places around the university, such as the Writing and Language Skills Centre, the Maths Centre, the library. Clara and I attended a meeting yesterday in which there was a huge list of things. I'm not going to sit here and read them out because it would take forever. I also don't have the list in front of me, but there is support upcoming for master's students for your dissertations, for writing those. I'm also meeting with the Associate Pro Vice Chancellor for Teaching, Learning and Students at some point in the near future when we can get our calendars to align to talk about other support that will be offered. So if you have anything that you think is really pertinent and that you'd like me to be raising in that meeting, please do get in contact and please do let me know.
Thank you. Well, Jane, can you tell students a little bit more about what GSA has been doing about this stuff?
Okay, so I've kind of briefly referenced about what we've been doing. The first thing I think I did was I was very angry, as I'm sure a lot of you were when we found out about it. But beyond that, Perna and I both attend the academic contingency group that meets fairly regularly. It's currently meeting twice a week. And as we're still seeing lots of things on social media and in our inboxes about the safety net, it's something that we bring up at pretty much every meeting at the moment, saying that you're all feeling very discontent with the situation. Again, we're still getting the same responses of why it's not happening. And we're also trying to push through and get some more answers on the other support that you will all be offering. So we are consistently bringing it up. We're also collating all of the views that you're bringing to us and putting them all together. If you want to see a little bit more about what we've been up to with all of the different things, we did write a blog as well. I'm not going to read it out here because it's a little bit long, but that's some of the stuff that we've been doing. We've also been sending a lot of emails to different people. But yeah, that's what we've been up to. Lots of meetings, which is good fun.
So one of the questions that has been coming from students is, what should they do if their research has been interrupted? So it's quite often that we get those and they kind of ask whether they should get or they can get an extension. Can you please tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing that I would say to do is get in contact with your supervisor. Hopefully they've either been in contact with you or you've been in contact with them, but they should be working with you and with your department to ensure that you can continue doing your research, that you can complete your degree on time as well, whether you're a master's student or a research student. So I know I've spoken quite a bit about master's students here and covered that quite a lot. So I'm also going to talk a little about research students because I know that that's quite different. But one of the things that has been spoken about a lot is getting an extension for your period of registration. So this looks a little bit different whether you are a master's student or whether you're a research student. So for master's students, you can get it for your current assignments. You can also get one for your dissertation, although I don't have any specifics on that at the moment. I'm aware as well with master's students that there are a lot of issues around getting an extension with, for example, financial difficulties, housing difficulties, if you're moving on to a career in September, which is why we're also looking at the additional support to ensure that you can complete your degree on time and move on to those new and exciting things that you've all got planned. So for research students, as I said, it's a little bit different. I know that some of you are in the middle of your research and you've had that interrupted because you can't go onto campus and get access to the facilities, you can't get into the labs, so you're in a little bit of a static period at the moment, or if you're in a writing up period, you're not able to get access to the library and other resources on campus, and working from home is a bit of a challenge as well. So for research students, if you are 3 months from your deadline, you can get an extension. So that is the same as before the COVID situation, but now it's a little bit easier to get one. You do still have to fill out a form to get one, which is a little bit of a long form, but it has been shortened down to the shortest that the Research Assistant Administration feel that it can be. So do fill out the form if you feel like you need an extension. The other thing with extensions that we're aware of is obviously funding for research students is a huge issue. We've seen the updates from UKRI and from the Wellcome Trust as well with the extension fundings for final year students. We're going to be carefully watching those to see what else happens. And we're also aware that there are a lot of students that don't get their funding through that. So whether you're self-funded, whether you're funded from your government as well, we are working through both the research work stream. I've got to get the words right. I've lost it. Sorry, I've completely forgotten everything. Yes, okay. We're working through the postgraduate research student work stream and the financial support work stream to try and make sure that you are all supported. Again, we don't have many updates on that at the moment, but we are aware of all of the issues. Okay, I think that's everything academic type covered. So now we're going to move on to well-being and ask Clara some questions. Okay, so first question for you, Clara. What support do students with care responsibilities have?
Okay, so if you've been following my social media lately, this is one of the huge issues that I've been taking care of since we came back from the Easter holidays. So I'm really glad that today in the Wellbeing Contingency Group, the university created a group to look at communication and information to students who are parents and to students that have care responsibilities. I think this is a great step into having targeting information and targeting guidelines and to at the university level, but also into looking at specific issues that the students with care responsibilities have. Like I've been having a lot of communications with you and a lot of discussions on like how hard are you finding these times and how are you struggling, and how beneficial has been for some of you to have contacted by your supervisors or by staff members in your department, which I'm really glad that you have. So this piece of work is now on movement. I was going to talk in Spanish, sorry. I think we are going to be acting on issues that the students with care responsibilities have much more faster now that we have this. Some of the things that the GSA has been doing with our family network, and if you are in the family network Facebook group, you would have noticed, is that we are now hosting family sessions every Wednesday from 4 to 5. I think this is a great space for families to get together, to have a cup of tea together, the kids to know each other, and also it's quite a fun. If you are sick of being hangout school, let's just wait until you have your 3-year-old toddler around, and you will not be bored anymore. We are doing small activities for the kids, and it is basically just a space for us to get together. I think one of the things that we've been working to in the last weeks has been doing a bit of a calendar for students that are parents with different age groups. So you will have an activity per day for kids that have from 3 to 7 years old, and for kids that have 7 to 10 years old, more or less. We've had quite a fun delivering that calendar, and I hope you can all enjoy it. In terms of what the student services are too, I just wanted to remind to everyone that you still have a student hub open, the open door counseling service there for you, and obviously the GSA welfare team and the youth welfare team. There is something that I wanted to flag too, which is the new resource available that the university has put in place, which is called Big White Wall. It's very difficult to say, like you need to try it. I say it quite often lately. So Big White Wall is an online community providing mental health support. It's free, it's anonymous, and it's there for you 24/7. It's really friendly. I know it's an older screen tool for you to use, but I would recommend you to register and just to give it a try. And finally, as Jane has already flagged, there is academic support available as always through Math Skills Center, to the Student Guidance for Learning Online, and to the Writing and Language Skills Center. So I think that's it.
Thank you, Clara. So next question is, do international students struggling to pay their fees have any support?
Yes, this is another of the issues that I've been having a lot of conversations about. And a lot of you have been flagging that because your home country is been having a global pandemic, your funding has been affected, or your sponsor is not contacting you, or you're having issues with to get the funding. So one of the first things that I would say to you is to contact the finance office regarding your fees. Please contact them if you need to make adjustments to your payments. I've been assured that the university will be flexible around this, and I'm sure they can provide some information. And if you're looking for information, again, do contact the Student Hub. They are there for you, and they can give you advice and guidelines through the different finance support that they have, such as the ones that Porter has flagged at the beginning of the talk. Another thing that I wanted to flag out is national issues, which I know we are not big fans on going to the government page, but the University Minister has recently issued a letter to international students, which provide tailored guidance and advice for international students studying now, and for future international students that have to look through their visa issues from autumn 2020. So keep looking for information out there. If you cannot find something, just write to me, write to our advice service. We're here for you, not 24/7, but 9 to 5 every night, Monday to Friday.
Okay, brilliant. So our last question. We've all been seeing the Keep Home and Carry On campaign that you've been helping to lead through the GSA, but a lot of international students aren't currently in the UK and are in different time zones across the world. So how can they interact with the campaign?
Okay, first of all, thank you for everyone that it's already on our quarantine community group. I know I've been messaging you constantly about who are you, where are you spending your quarantine, what are the things that you're doing, and I'm really glad that we are having our regular activities. But about the time differences, I have some issues that we are trying to figure out, because in the past we've organized events attending to the different time differences. So for example, when we do coffee online with distance learners, I repeated the event 3 times on the day, so people could join from different places, and that worked really well. But with the keep home and carry on activities, because there are so many, we have all these 2 activities per day, and we have a limited staff capacity, we cannot repeat the activities that frequently. So what we've tried to work around this is putting forward 1 or 2 activities per day in different times, so people with different time zones can join our morning activities or evening activities. And what I can say is that we've been trying to put some activities outside of working hours too. So you have the pop quiz on Mondays, you have the karaoke online on Fridays, which usually are from 7 to 8 or from 6 to 7. So please try and join, even if it's just once, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Just pop up, say hi, drop us a message. You can also send messages to the groups regularly, or send pictures of your pet, of your kids, whatever, or about you and the food that you cook. So yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so they're all the questions that we've got for today. We hope that we've covered a lot of the things that you guys have been asking. But if you have any questions that you'd like us to ask, then please do get in contact with us via email or Facebook or Twitter, however you feel most comfortable. As we've said, we're also going to be getting in contact with members of the university to try and get them to come and answer some questions with us as well. So if you have anyone specific that you'd like to ask questions to, please do let us know. So they'll be coming out over the next couple of weeks. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to say as well to everyone is keep just I don't know what I was going to say. I've just ruined the whole video.
Keeping
yes.
Keep in contact with
us,
everyone. Giving us your experiences, keep raising concerns, and we will try to respond as soon as possible.
Yes, and we know that it's difficult.
For you.
Yeah, and we know that it's difficult as we go into what I think this is about the 4th week now of everyone being at home. So we hope that you're all doing okay. We know that it's really, really difficult. Please feel free to reach out to us. We are here to help support you and to raise your concerns to the university, and we love hearing from you guys. You send us all some really lovely messages, and we really appreciate them. Okay, we're going to finish there.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.